Welcome to HTML Basics 2, Lessons 5 through 9. Last couple lessons we focused on ordered lists. Now we're going to look at unordered lists. So, ordered lists open up with OL tags, so it only makes sense that unordered lists open up with UL tags. And you're going to follow the same kind of protocol. You're going to open with the UL tag, and you're just going to wrap each individual item in LI tags. Unordered lists list your items out in bullet points. So we're going to go ahead and look at the instructions. It says, in your body tag, create an H1 tag and put the text some random thoughts inside. So, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter to space my body tags out. Start with my H1 tag, some random thoughts, and close the H1 tag. Step 2 says, under your H1 tag, create a paragraph using the P tag, which describes the list you will make. So, go ahead and create my P tag. This list will include some of my random thoughts. And then I'm going to close the P tag. So you can see over here you've got your H1, some random thoughts, you have your paragraph. Now we're moving on to step 3. It says, finally create an unordered list with the UL tag, which contains a list of 4 random thoughts, each of which should be placed inside an LI tag. Okay, so under the paragraph, I'm going to go ahead and start with my UL tag, signifying an unordered list. I'm going to indent my first listed item. Let's say, yay, the work day is over. And I'm going to close that list item, and it says to do 4. Okay? More random thoughts of mine. Closing LI tag, and lastly, there we go, and then backspace and close your UL tag. So you can notice over here in the browser we've got our items that we just listed out in bullets as opposed to as an ordered list, which would be numbered. Go ahead and hit save and submit code to move on to the next lesson. Okay, now we're on lesson 6 out of 16, and this is where lists can get a little tricky. So we're talking about lists inside lists. So it says, what if you had an ordered list, but each item in the ordered list also has an unordered list nested in it? Nested simply means inside the list. The editor has a small example of this. So basically, let's just take a look at this, because actually it says hit save and submit to see what the results look like. Okay, we're going to ignore that part. But if you look over here, let's take a look at what we've got going on here. Starts off with an ordered list. So we know there's going to be some numbering going on here. So the first item in the ordered list is Dad's interests. And you can see over here, that's where it is. List 1, Dad's interests. But inside that ordered list contains an unordered list, which under Dad's interests, which is item 1, you have an unordered list of football and knitting, which are Dad's interests. And then we have the same thing here. We have Mom's interests, so that's the second item in the ordered list. And then nested inside of that, we've got hating football and skydiving. So that's the unordered list there. So you can see there's lists within lists here. Let's take a look at our instructions. On line 21, create an unordered list. Okay, go to 21. UL. Your unordered list should have 2 items. Favorite boys' names and favorite girls' names. So we're going to go ahead, indent, LI, favorite boys' names. We're going to close that list item. And now we also have favorite girls' names. Close that. And then we're going to go ahead and close our UL tag. So now we have an unordered list here. And you can see it appear over here in the browser. Now, step 3 says under each item of the unordered list, create an ordered list. Use the ordered list to specify your 3 favorite boys' names and your 3 favorite girls' names. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, so under our favorite boys' names, we're going to put our cursor. And we're going to tab over. We're going to create an ordered list. Now we have to list out our 3 favorite boys' names. So I'm going to go with Kyle. Close it. It's the first favorite boy's name of mine. Another one, Jared. Close it. And the last one, remember they all have to be wrapped around in list tags. Let's do the last one, Paxton. Closing, oops. Sorry guys, hang on, there we go. Closing LI. So that was the first list. So we're going to go ahead and, oopsie, close that OL tag. So you can see over here, we've got lists within lists. Now we're going to go under our favorite girls' names. Again, we're going to open an OL tag. And we're going to list out our favorite girls' names. Let's do Charlotte. And that was my first one. You know what? Was I supposed to do 4? Let me look at this real quick. It does say your 3 favorite. Okay, never mind. I'm good. Sorry. Let's go with Kylie. And our last one, let's do, I have no idea. Let's do Samantha. And then the very last thing you need to make sure you do is close that OL tag. And then we already closed the UL tag way up here that we opened. But here's our whole code for our list within lists. And you can see over here in the browser that that's exactly what we've done. Go ahead and hit Save and Submit Code and move on to the next lesson. Alright, we are on lesson 7 out of 16 about making comments. It reads, we have covered a lot about lists. Let's change gears and do some styling. If you recall, HTML is the skeleton of the web page, and CSS lets you give the skeleton some skin and makeup. But it is possible to do some inline CSS. This simply means we can do some styling in our HTML file without worrying about a separate CSS file. We'll learn this first because it will make learning CSS a lot easier later. Before we dive into fonts, it's important to learn about making comments. You can include little notes in your HTML code that the browser won't display, but it will be in the code to help you remember why you did certain things. Alright, your instructions. Step 1 says comments start with this and end with this. And then it says like this. Here's your example. Step 2, make the text on line 1 into a comment. Leave the text on line 3 alone. Alright, so all we're going to do right now is we're simply going to add the little caret, exclamation point, hyphen, hyphen. That's going to go before the make me in the comment part. And then we're going to end the comment with the hyphen, hyphen, and then the closing caret. So this part here, as they said, will not display on the browser page. It's so that you can leave yourself little notes so you can understand later why you did certain things. Okay, go ahead and hit Save and Submit and move to Lesson 8. In Lesson 8, we are going to learn about font size. So it starts off saying, recall that the P tags are opening and closing tags. We can give these tags more instructions by including attributes in the opening tag. An attribute is simply a characteristic or some description for the content in the element. You saw this with the src and image in the href or href in the a tag. Let's change the size of the text. How? We use the style attribute. We make it equal to the font size followed by a colon, the size you want, and end it with px, short for pixels. For example, this is what it should look like, p we're changing the paragraph style to have a font size of 12px. That's what that example says. All right, instructions. It says on line 7, make the text size 10px. So I'm going to go up to line 7. I'm just going to insert my cursor after the P, space, then I'm going to add in the style, the equal sign, quotation mark, font, hyphen size, colon, and it says 10px, and then I just need to remember to close the quotation marks. And then this little caret here, in my mind, points to the text that you want to change to 10px, and then you have your closing P tag. That's what that should look like. Let's go ahead and do line 8. We're going to make that 20px. Same thing. Right after the P, I'm going to insert my cursor, type style, equal sign, quotation mark, font, hyphen size, colon, 20px, and quotation mark. And you can notice as soon as we're making the changes, it's changing in the browser. And last, step 3, on line 9, make it 40px. Insert the style, equal, quotation mark, font, hyphen size, 40px, and then close it. Closing quotation marks. Wow, that one's a big one. Okay. Go ahead and hit save and submit, and you are done with this tutorial.